The Sony hacking scandal probably feels like Chinese water torture to Sony. It took another embarrassing turn as leaked emails reveal nasty exchanges and insults between Sony executives. Is this a sign that Sony is in distress and that someone's going to lose their job? We bring back Adam Shapiro, Jared Levy, and Brian Sozzi. Adam, we already heard about what happened with Angelina Jolie, and we can put up what we first reported on Wednesday, and that was this vicious email from Scott Rudin, a producer who's making the Steve Jobs movie and didn't like that Angelina wanted to steal the director or use the director for her movie Cleopatra, both Sony properties, and he wrote, "I'm not destroying my career over a minimally talented, spoiled brat who thought nothing of shoving this off her plate for 18 months so she could go direct a movie." We know that's not really fair. But then another star who's become very legitimate, Kevin Hart, a Sony executive, Clint Culpepper, called him a whore only because Kevin asked for a little extra money when asked to do extra work in promoting a film. Is somebody going to lose their job over this?
Eventually, yes, but you've got to have continuity up until the release of the movie that's at the center of all of this issue, the interview, which comes out on Christmas. After that day, then you can start lopping off heads, and of course the people at the top are the people who are going to lose their jobs.
Brian Sozzi, they do not have a PR strategy so far. There was a weak apology by Rudin and Amy Pascal, the head of the Sony studios, but the reason they might not is because another email was released that showed that November 15th, Charlie Sipkins, the head of PR, was fired because Amy Pascal's husband was annoyed that Amy wasn't included in a Hollywood Reporter roundtable done with studio chiefs.
Well, when I see this, I think you just see a byproduct of a company that is failing. And they're failing because they don't have the right products. They're failing because they don't have a mobile device that competes with Apple. So this is the outgrowth of those failings over the many, many years. And it's a big concern. And secondarily, I think the other problem is here that they're just not set up, their infrastructure is not set up to properly handle this type of hacking. And this is not just a Sony problem, it's a broad industry problem, too.
Well, Jared, is there a stock play here?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple, and Brian really touched upon it, that this is an industry-wide problem. We're going to see a lot more of it. So where do you go as an investor? Look to companies like Cisco or companies like Checkpoint Software, those who are going to help prevent or intercept these attacks. Because, listen, we saw it in Target, in Bank of America, J.P. Morgan. Anybody is susceptible. And Sony, unfortunately, Brian said, is just in a weak moment
well,
right here.
Here's another blow to Sony through no fault of its own. Microsoft's Xbox One outsold PlayStation 4 in November. They kind of reversed a negative trend for it. Call of Duty captures the #1 spot for video game sales, but gentlemen, video game sales are still trending lower. So, Brian, what do you do here? I mean, people want these things for the holiday. They do sell. But is one going to win over another?
Well, you have two different ways. One would be Apple. They're giving these companies a way to put their games. The Electronic Arts, Activision, they take all the development risk. Yeah. Apple just collects a profit for every game that's being sold, and they're increasingly being downloaded on the new larger screen sizes from these companies. On the other end, you have something like a GameStop, which I think is the next Radio Shack. There is no fundamental reason, given where video games are going, direct download, that you need to go to a GameStop.
Well, Jared, that's a strong statement. Do you agree with that about GameStop? Or is there an opportunity here because people still want to trade in their old games, and that's GameStop's big business model?
No, I'm also a seller of GameStop here. I do see it as the next blockbuster. I think it was well said. I actually do like Electronic Arts, and I do like Activision here, even though there were some rough numbers with Call of Duty.
What about the mobile players? I mean, neither Jared or Brian has mentioned this, but there's Glue Mobile, there's the King Digital, which of course is Candy Crush. They just came out with a new game.
Yeah, I would still, Electronic Arts is going to survive all of this. They've got a lot of money behind them, so I wouldn't count them out.
And Activision, let's not forget them, Take-Two as well. Good to see all of you. Lively discussion here with a holiday theme. Adam Shapiro, Jared Levy, and Brian Sozzi.